I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I want to show you guys just how I nerd out and how I walk out when it comes to looking and reading and learning about what's going on in our federal government. I'm just stumbling around the internet. It's Saturday. I've done some of the chores that I had to do. So I'm just sitting around chilling while my wife is out shopping. And I come across this YouTube clip of Melanie Stansbury. She's a Democrat representative in the House of Representatives from Arizona. And she was talking about a James Comer bill. James Comer is the chair of the Oversight Committee, and he wrote a bill that he's trying to get passed. And it's to help Donald Trump and Elon Musk shrink the size of government. But Representative Stansbury had some issues with the bill, so she decided to bring it up. And here's what she had to say.
Your bill. So I'm trying to understand the purpose of this bill. And I know as you presented the bill, you said that this is really to empower the Trump administration, which you believe is using its authority to try to reform the government. But I see under pages 2 and 3 of your bill that it includes the discretion of the executive branch to eliminate the operations to be determined unnecessary for the execution of constitutional duties. So this means essentially, if I'm understanding it, Mr. Chairman, that if Donald Trump or Elon Musk decided that an agency and its operations was unnecessary, under your bill, they could just eliminate it. Is that correct?
Yeah, it requires Congress to vote on it.
Now, you heard what she said, and you heard the guy whisper to James Comer that Congress has to vote on the recommendations of what the president provides to Congress, him and Elon Musk. But she had an issue with that because that's not what the bill said. So again, not doing much, I say, you know what? Let me go and read for myself what they're talking about. So here's how I did it. Because the description didn't say anything about the bill, what I did was I just went and Googled James Comer bill, and I came up upon this search. And then I clicked on this site here, which took me to this. And this is the site. And I didn't want to click on it because it's going to take me to some stuff trying to get my information. So I went here and it was HR 1295. So, okay, I Googled to HR 1295 and I came here to the Congress because Congress put these bills out so the people can read them. So I went to this site, found the bill, and I wanted to follow along with what she said. So if you look at this, she said,
but I see under pages 2 and 3 of your bill that it includes the discretion of the executive branch to eliminate the operations to be determined unnecessary for the execution of constitutional duties.
Now they're discussing the amendment to something, and I have no idea what they're talking about because when you go to the bill, all you see is this. No idea what this is. Chapter 9, whatever, in section 1-A, subsection paragraph inserting this, in paragraph 5 striking agencies. I have no idea what they're talking about. So I kept watching and I saw this.
In sections 908 and 909 of Title V.
Okay, so I know what that means. They're trying to amend U.S. Code Title 5, Chapter 9, Section 90 whatever. So now I know how to follow along with this. So I go back to James Comer's bill. And in his bill, which is titled Reorganizing Government Act of 2025, this is the U.S. Code. Chapter 9 of Title 5 U.S. Code is amended in Section 901 in subsection A in paragraph 3. So I Googled U.S. Code. It brought me here. It took me to this site here. So this is the U.S. Code. There's a lot of codes. Trust me. I went to Title 5, Part 1, Chapter 9, Section 901, 902. Here's all my sections. So let's go back to James Comer's bill. It says in Section 901 in subsection A. So in Section 901, click on that. In Section 901, subsection A, in paragraph 3, inserting, including eliminations of operations determined to be necessary for the execution of constitutional duties before the semicolon. What I just showed you on the white page, they want to add that sentence into the brown page, all of that before the semicolon. We tracking? And basically what they're doing is U.S. Code Title 5, Section 901, that's already out there. That's already established law, and presidents before have used it to try to streamline government. They want to give Donald Trump a little bit more power to do so and to probably do it a little faster. But there's a major, major problem with James Comer's bill, and here it is. I want you to take a look at this right here. There's a lot of strike this, add that, before that, and all the commas and semicolons and everything. I want you to read these important words here. Striking agency, striking the word agencies and inserting executive departments. Here's another one, executive departments. Means any executive department, agency, or independent establishment of the United States or any corporation wholly owned by the United States, and any office or officer of the executive branch. James Comer and the MAGA Republican Party want to give Donald Trump the power to get rid of executive departments by slashing the word agency and putting executive department. That's the problem because it violates the Constitution. Now, I'm not going to read it. You can pause to read, but this is Article 2, Section 2, Clause 1 of the Constitution, and it talks about how Congress and Congress alone has the power, with advice and consent of the president, to appoint offices and officers. So every department that we have in the federal government, it was created by Congress. And James Comer, in his amendment to U.S. Code Title 5, he's trying to change the word agency, because if you create an agency, that's not in the Constitution. So the president can establish and dissolve an agency, but he cannot establish and dissolve a department. That comes from Congress. James Comer is trying to give the power of establishing and dissolving departments to the president, essentially making the president a king and not having to be responsible to the Congress, who was elected by the people. If you take those words out and give it to the president, then Congress has no power and the president can do what he wants, and that excludes the people because the people elected the Congress and the president. And go back to the beginning of the video where he talks about how Congress has the ability to challenge the president. In his amendment, he does not keep that in. And that's why Representative Stansbury was asking that question. Where in your amendment does Congress keep its power? He never answered that question. They're trying to make Trump a king. Let's see what happens prior to 2026 midterms and the 2028 presidential election. I know this was wonky. This may have bored you, but I wanted to show you my method. What do you think?